I've done nearly every single Caroline Girvan program ever released on YouTube and in her app. And in 6 years of exclusively training at home, over 40 pounds lost, in this video, I'm going to break down for you the 5 home workout myths that almost stopped me from doing any of it so that I can save you, hopefully, some time and energy. Myth number one is that you can't build muscle at home, that you need a gym for that. And you absolutely can. Progressive overload, gradually increasing the challenge over time, works exactly the same way whether you're in a gym or you're in your living room. The equipment doesn't actually build the muscle itself, the stimulus does. The reason that the myth sticks is something called social legitimacy bias. The gym looks like it works, right? The equipment, the environment, the other people, it's all a signal that something real is happening. And it does work at the gym, but your living room doesn't have those same cues. So even when the workout is identical, your brain is questioning whether or not it counted or it's legitimate. And for some women, the distraction of being at home is very real. There's laundry, there's dishes, there's kids, there's 9 million other things, but that's actually a focus problem, not a muscle building foundation problem. And those two things are completely separate conversations. After my first 10-week home program, I was actually able to lift heavier weights and I was losing weight. And I don't think it was just from moving more. I think I was actually building muscle underneath from what I was doing. And that was doing the metabolic work even at rest. The location is irrelevant. The progressive overload is everything. And I will link a video for you that I did recently about working out at home versus gym. And I will link that here for you because that is a whole conversation on this. Myth number two is that lifting weights at home is going to make you bulky. Building significant muscle mass requires a very specific combination of training volume, caloric surplus, and hormonal environment that most women just simply don't have. So, what you'll build from home strength training is strength and shape, not bulk. But I want to be completely honest about where the fear actually comes from because I don't think it's physiological. I think most women are conditioned from a very early age to believe that certain body types are more desirable and more beautiful than others. And that's cultural. And the cultural messaging makes the physiological part unlikely outcome feel like an inevitable outcome. When I started working out at home, I totally worried about this. My entire risk management plan was this though. If I see something that I'm not comfortable with, I'll just reduce the weight. The mental permission slip took the fear off the table and let me actually train. And here, 6 years later, I've yet to find the bulk. Still waiting. But realistically speaking, this strength training is not a luxury. It's something we should all be doing for the health and sake of our body, as far as I'm concerned. Myth three is that you have to find the right program, the perfect one, before you can make any real progress. And truthfully, a decent program done consistently will always outperform a perfect program that's done inconsistently. Always and forever. It is a hill that I will die on. What's actually happening when you program hop is avoidance. The researching, the comparing, the planning, it really feels productive, but you're not getting closer to your goal. You're staying in a comfortable place of preparation where failure isn't possible yet. That's the behavioral pattern called avoidance schema, and it's extremely common. I've got a whole video on this too that I'll link for you. I stayed consistent with the same program for months, and one day I just noticed I could lift more. I had more energy, I was losing weight, and I can remember thinking, wait, this is what happens when you actually like stick with something and you just don't stop. You just kind of keep going. And I just let it finally work. Myth four, if you aren't sore after a workout, you wasted your time. The actual signal of an effective workout is proximity to mechanical failure, getting close to the point where you genuinely could not complete another rep with good form. That's where adaptation happens. Soreness is a byproduct. Sometimes it shows up and often it doesn't. And its absence tells you nothing about whether you actually did the workout or that it worked. This is one of the hardest things for me to wrap my brain around too. And I talk about it a lot because I believe it for the longest. There's a pattern called all or nothing thinking. Either the workout counted or it didn't. Either you felt completely tapped out or it was a waste. And that kind of black and white thinking kept me in a punishment relationship with my own training for quite a long time. I kept seeing results during the weeks I wasn't sore at all, though, and the strength kept building. And I had to let go of the idea that soreness was my report card. Soreness tells you that your muscles are pressed. Progressive overload is the thing that tells you they're growing. And those are very different things, even though sometimes they can feel like the same thing. Myth five, you need to feel motivated before you can work out. Motivation follows action, it doesn't precede it. There's a clinical term for this called behavioral activation, and it basically just means that the feeling of wanting to do something comes after you start, not before. Every time you've talked yourself into a workout you didn't want to do and found yourself fully in the next 5 minutes, that's behavioral activation. An object in motion stays in motion. The motivation showed up after you started the action, not before. What actually works is automating the behavior until you don't want to negotiate with yourself anymore. The smallest possible, same time, same place, every day until it's automatic. Then you scale from there. I have a whole video on building habits and habit systems, and I'll link those for you here because there's a lot of strategies, and this topic is it's kind of a big thing. So I'll link it somewhere on the screen for you. But the core idea is that motivation is a feeling, habits are a system, and you need to build the system. I built my entire body at home, diet and training, over 40 pounds, not from a program promising results in 30 days, but from consistently showing up in my own space and doing the work. I'm also a licensed counselor, which means I understand both the physiological and the behavioral psychology of why these myths are so sticky. And I'm telling you from both of those places. Home training can work. These beliefs are completely understandable, but they don't have to keep you stuck. So if you're still working out, whether home training or the gym is actually right for you, I made a full breakdown on exactly that, real practical differences, and it'll help you make a decision if you'll actually stick with it. And I'll link that right here for you. And if this is something a woman in your life is holding on to, share this with her because sometimes the right information at the right moment is the thing that actually changes everything. And if you love this, make sure you subscribe for more. And I will catch you next time. Bye, friends.